Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off lying down. Bring your legs out long and heavy in front of you. Bring your arms to your side. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these first few moments to bring your focus and awareness to your breathing. With every inhale, allow your ribs and your belly to expand. And with every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little heavier into the mat. Notice if you're holding on to any tension in your shoulders or your jaw. Try to find a little wiggle of movement around those areas. Take a few more moments of big breath here. Then bend both of your knees, bring your feet so they're flat. And pull your right knee towards your right armpit. So you can grab hold of your foot or your ankle with your right hand. And then release your right foot back down to the mat. We're gonna do that again. Pull your knee to your armpit, add a little tug, and then release the foot down. We'll take about 4 more of these. Just finding a very temporary stretch into the right hamstring, right hip. And find a few more, a little more dynamic stretching. Keep your left foot planted down to the mat. Take a couple more here, pulling your knee up towards your armpit. And then last one, hold for an extra moment. Hold for about 5 seconds. Keep your left foot planted onto the ground with your knee pointing up to the ceiling. Breathe into the opening of your right hamstring and right hip. And then release your right foot, and we'll start to take all of this on the second side. So whenever you're ready, start to pull your left knee towards your left armpit. And your left hand, you can catch your left foot, your left ankle, your left shin. Start to pull your knee towards your armpit. Keep your right foot planted down for stability. And then just continue to move. Your knee pulls into your armpit, give it a little tug, and then release the foot. And take about 5 or 6 of these. Let it be kind of loose here. It doesn't have to look like anything. Just allow a little moment of stretch, and then release your foot. And then last one, hold this one here a little bit longer. Keep your right foot planted down to the mat. Breathe into this opening. Nice big breath in. Full big breath out. And then release your left foot. Pull both of your knees into your chest. Rock and roll yourself up to a tabletop position. And then step your feet back to a high plank position. Now from your high plank, keep your hands planted where they are, bend your knees a lot, send your hips towards your heels, and then slide forward to high plank. Do that again, bend your knees, send the hips back, slide forward to high plank. And again, bend your knees, hips press back, slide forward to plank. A little different this time, send your hips back. This time, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Step your right foot back, send your hips back, and switch. Left foot forward, and left foot back, and continue to alternate from side to side. So right away, getting into a little more activity here, finding some opening in the hips, finding some activation through the core and through the shoulders. And continue to move this from side to side. Bring each foot as far forward as you can. Don't allow it to get past your fingers, but if you're not able to get it all the way up to your wrist, that's okay. A few more moments here of alternating from side to side. I know we're starting to feel this through the hips. Next time your right foot is forward, keep it forward, lower your back knee down to the mat. Take a moment with your heart open. Big breath in. Your hands can be down on the ground, or you can bring your forearms down to support you as well. Getting a little bit deeper into your front right hip. Now the back toes are flipped under. Option to press so much into the top of your left foot that your left knee lifts up off the ground. Just an option. Maybe you try it out, see how it feels. Breathe into this space. Again, getting a good opening into the right hip, right hamstring. We'll slowly start to come out of this. Lower your back knee, bring your hands under your shoulders. Send your hips back and start to rond de jambe your right leg so it goes all the way around you. Pop onto your right toes. Lift your right arm up off the ground. So you're opening through your chest, kind of kickstanding onto your right toes there. Bring yourself back to tabletop. Come back to high plank, bend your knees, and step your left foot forward. Lower your back knee, and you can keep your hands planted, or you can bring your forearms down to the ground into this deeper lunge, sometimes called a lizard lunge. And if you're not able to get your forearms down to the mat, don't sweat it. Stay up high on your palms. And if it's feeling accessible to you, press down so much into the top of your right foot that your right knee lifts up off the ground. Keep breathing into the space between your shoulder blades. Allow your hips to be heavy. And if you're on your forearms, start to make your way back up to your palms and circle your left leg so it comes all the way around behind you. You can swivel your right ankle as well. Stay down on your right hand as you reach your left arm up and open. Crack open through your heart. Take a big breath in and then bring yourself back to tabletop. We're going to move this posture from side to side. So once you're back in tabletop, swivel your left ankle, step your right toes back behind you and open up. Reach your right arm back overhead, bring yourself back to tabletop, and we will switch this up. So now the right ankle swivels, the left toes are down, and the heart is open towards the ceiling. And bring yourself back to tabletop. We'll do that again. Swivel your knees, right toes come back behind you, crack open through your heart space. And bring yourself back to tabletop, swivel your knees, left foot comes back behind you, crack open through your heart space. And revolve yourself through center. We'll move again. So finding this nice circular movement, maybe finding a little more range of motion or openness into the front of your body. And move to the opposite side, left toes behind you, open through the chest. And then make your way back to tabletop position. In tabletop, internally rotate your knees. So your ankles are away from each other, your knees are close to each other, and start to find a little wag of your tail from side to side. So push your hips to the left, and then push your hips to the right. And continue to move left to right. And you can linger a little bit longer on either side. Should be feeling a nice stretch into your outer glute, and it may feel a little bit strange with this internal rotation. And just continue from side to side. We're staying here a little bit longer, so you can find a nice bit of release into your outer hips, into your lower spine. And find a few more here. And after this last set, make your way to a seat. So we're going to come into a straddle position, but I want your knees to be bent, so it's going to feel a little bit strange. So make your way to sit. Extend your legs out to the side, but bend your knees super deeply here. And then you're going to move your hands as we move your spine. So inhale, bring your hands back behind you, lift your chest. And then exhale to round your spine and bring your hands out in front of you. And take that again, hands back behind you, lift your chest, lift your chin. And then exhale, hands in front of you as you round. And then again, hands back behind you, lift your chest, lift your chin. And then exhale to round through your spine. And now this time as you're in this rounded over position, walk your hands over towards your right ankle. Keep your left butt bone plugged down to the mat. Just breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Find a few more moments of big breath here. And then walk yourself over towards your left foot. Keep your right butt bone planted. And it may feel a little bit awkward with the bend of your knees. That's okay. That bend adds just a little bit of extra pull into your lower back. A nice bit of lengthening there. Take a big breath in and a full breath out. And then slowly make your way to an upright position and extend through your legs. So you're nice and tall through your waist. Shift your hips from side to side. And from here, we're going to crawl through center. And we're going to be here for about 1.5 minutes. So option, if you're not comfortable crawling all the way forward, keep yourself upright. You can also bring your hands onto blocks or books if you're in that upright position, just to give yourself a little bit of a boost. For today's purposes, keep your feet flexed and keep your knees pointing straight up to the ceiling. So it's easy to allow the knees to kind of roll in. Continue to use your rotators so your toes and your knees are pointing straight up. And then wherever you are, if you're released over, if you're more upright, imagine that somebody is pulling your ankles away from each other, so your legs are getting longer. You can find more length into the inner thighs, more opening in the hips. And then maybe see what happens if you crawl yourself out a little further forward. Keep that breath going. Notice areas where you're holding onto tension. We're here for about 10 more seconds. Big belly breaths. Allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper, knowing that you'll be out of it soon. And then slowly start to make your way out. So depending on where you are, if you're released over, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, start to push yourself up. You can use your hands on the outsides of your thighs to help draw your legs close together. Take a moment to shake out through your legs, and then bend your knees, cross your ankles. Bring your hands to rest on your knees or your thighs. Allow your eyes to close, find a soft gaze. And we'll end our session here today. Notice and acknowledge any differences you may feel, maybe physically, maybe mentally, maybe through the hips, through the lower back. Give yourself a moment to be in your body, be in your skin, and acknowledge the work and the effort that you put into this session today. Take a full big breath in and a full exhale. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.